Hey guys, thanks for checking out today's video. Today we're going to be looking at the Noble Plug and Play Harness Kit. So this kit in particular is for the F1 light. So we're going to check this thing out. Just open up this package, very simple. Pop out your harness. Here you're going to see this harness. You're going to have a little bit of everything. Everything's labeled for you. So here's a parking wire, a ground wire, reverse wire, brake wire, and then obviously your plug and play. Now, what this is going to do is give you a lot of options as far as not tampering with your factory wiring. So we'll flip this taillight around and you can see how this works, and then we'll go over some of the other stuff. If we spin this taillight around, you'll see this is an exact match of the factory plug. So we're going to plug this in right here, which is also an exact match of your factory harness. You're going to plug that straight into the taillight. I have a little power supply over here. I'm going to flip that on. We're at 13.8 volts. So now I'm going to take our power and basically touch the pins. So we're going to see this thing light up. So obviously we have our reverse light, turn signal, running light, and brake light. So now what this harness is going to do is we're going to use this to basically tap into, right here we have a generic eBay fog light. Rear fog light. So this thing did not come with any sort of wiring harness. And so in order to install this, you would have to basically splice into your factory wiring. So this kit is going to eliminate that and allow you to do basically a direct plug and play. And so we're going to check out what else came in the kit and see how we can make this work. So in your kit, you're going to find some heat shrink as well as some of these connectors. So if you flip this back around, we'll unplug this, flip it back around, you're going to see on the connectors here, these are basically the female versions of these connectors. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our fog light, we can splice these wires off, connect these quick connectors to the generic fog light that we have, crimp them down, and then in theory, we should be able to just plug these right in, and we will have a working F1 light alongside of our factory lights, and we won't have to tamper with any of the factory wiring. It'll be a standalone system. And then you can always unplug it, if you ever decide to get a different F1 light or something of that nature, or you get aftermarket tail lights, this will be universal and it will transfer all the same without any altercation of your factory wiring. So I'm going to go ahead and strip these wires. This is a really cheap wire stripper. You can pick these up at Walmart for a couple dollars. Very handy tool to have around. Okay, we have stripped one wire, second wire, third wire. You can use a couple methods to crimp these on. I do have a wire crimper, but you can sort of find ways around that with other methods as well if you choose to. So we're going to take our crimper, crimp that in, do the same thing for the other two wires. So now look what we've just done. We've taken a generic eBay non-plug and play harness and essentially made it plug and play. Now you're going to see you also get heat shrink with this harness in case you do have to make any cuts or connections on any of your F1 harnesses, but in this case we don't need these, so I'm going to put them back into the bag, as well as the extra connector that we have, just so we don't lose it. So now we have a red wire. We're going to connect that to our red parking wire. Just plugs right in. Yellow wire, we're going to connect that to our yellow wire. Plugs right in. And then our black wire to our black wire. Now this fog light that we have here, this F1 light, doesn't have a reverse function. So we don't have a fourth wire for the reverse light, but that's okay. If you do have one that has a reverse function, that's what that extra connection is for. And then you can just plug into your reverse connection and it should work. Actually, let me spin this around for you so you can see better. Okay, so because this is a LED bulb in here now instead of the original halogen that came in here. I'm not going to be able to showcase to you guys the two-way function, so you're not going to see this thing light up with the running light, but as soon as I hit the brake lights, you're going to see it illuminate here. So there's our reverse light, our turn signal, all functions work as normal, and then when we hit our brake lights, you can see that comes on with the tail light. So direct plug and play harness. I can show you from the back just so you can see. It's all plugged in. There's no tricks going on here. It's just a simple plug and play harness. And then boom, you can just route that down through your bumper, plug the bulb in, plug the harness in, and then if you ever decide that you don't want it anymore, well, you can unplug it, take all this with you, and then just plug your factory harness back in, and now your fog light is completely separate and you didn't damage any of the factory wiring. So that's going to be it, guys. Thanks for checking out the video. If you have any questions or concerns, you can always send us a message and we'll answer them for you. And I'll leave a link in the description of where you can purchase these. So pretty nice modification without destroying any of your factory equipment. So it's always good to have that option.